For Tim O'Malley, I'm Tim Priester from Irish Illustrated, John Brice of the Football Scoop, and this is Irish Illustrated's pregame instant analysis brought to you by RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. Well, Notre Dame takes on Northern Illinois today. They're a 28-point favorite. I want to, before we get into the specifics of it, I want to talk about something I don't think we talked about on the podcast or instant analysis after Thursday, but Marcus Freeman talking about very physical practices on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Probably not what we expected to hear, considering what they went through at Texas A&M. Just your thoughts, guys, on and that's Marcus Freeman's MO. He's going to push his team, but just your thoughts on that.
That's what we kind of discussed. Is he's not going to start letting up. It's not like they don't have to improve. They have to become a much better football team. Now they're not playing a team that's as good as Texas A&M or as threatening as Texas A&M's atmosphere, of course, but they have to keep getting better. You probably got to do that through Louisville and then see if you can start scaling things back. I'm not skeptical at all that they had physical practices. I always wonder if we had a great week of practice. If you watch Red Irish Illustrated this week, you could see 5 examples of we had a great week of practice and they played the worst games you've ever seen in week 2. So good week physical practice, great idea. Let's see if it pays off because it's lip service until it does.
Yeah, I think it's Marcus Freeman still not only seeking improvement from his squad, but also still trying to figure out exactly what he's got, making sure those offensive linemen take the physicality that they played with last Saturday night, apply it to the practice field, and continue to hone that and develop it moving forward.
I think we all feel confident about Notre Dame's defense today going against Ethan Hampton, a quarterback with very little experience. He had a huge day against Western Illinois, but it looks like everybody's going to have a huge day against Western Illinois this year. So I'm doubting whether he will hold up well against Notre Dame's defense. In particular, the secondary, they do have Ontario Brown and a quality running game, which I think will hold up to some extent against Notre Dame. They do. Their 2 top offensive linemen of a veteran offensive line are the interior guys, a center and an offensive guard. But how much inroads do you think in Northern Illinois is going to be able to make against Notre Dame's defense?
I think it's similar to a couple of the games we've seen where, look, they've had all offseason prepare for Notre Dame. That's what they've been doing, clearly, and they have a bye week coming up after this. Yeah. I think Algon's going to see stuff he doesn't normally see. We're going to end up talking to him about that next week. I think Northern Illinois has a little success in the first quarter. If this game's remotely close, like 21-6, 21-7 in the third, I don't think the defense is giving up a point in the second half because they're going to stay in with their top rotational players, their top starters, and they're going to shut Northern Illinois down. The only way Northern Illinois has a good second half is if this game's not close, and then I think they can score.
It's going to be hard for them to reach double digits, isn't it, JB?
I completely agree. I also think that, they've got a veteran, older offensive line, but I don't think that Ethan Hampton has the arm strength to test Notre Dame's secondary, and I think that Notre Dame will be really effective throttling their run and bottling it up. So Northern Illinois, we know they'll script their first couple of series. We'll see how that goes. But beyond that, I just think it's going to be an incredibly, incredibly long day for the Huskies offense.
We expect Northern Illinois to be without their top defensive lineman. That's Rasheem Thomas. He didn't play the first game. We're told he's not going to play the second game. That's a huge blow. They got a couple good linebackers, and I do like their secondary. Javon Bird is their top cornerback back there, and so it'll be a good test for Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard and Notre Dame's receiving corps, which is still trying to get up to speed. Last week was you're just trying to find a way to win a game. Everybody's worried about downfield throwing, including myself a little bit, but this will be an opportunity to throw the ball down the field a little bit more and a good test for Notre Dame's passing game.
The offense was in survive and advance mode last week. You hope that doesn't continue. You'd like to see something out of the passing game to augment the running game, though. Still, I think Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love are still the focal points here as Riley Leonard kind of gets his sea legs under him with the receivers. You just want to see Chris Mitchell make some plays, Jaden Harrison, the new guys, Jaden Greathouse be what we all thought. We ranked him. We all had him in the top 8, I think. I'm not saying he's not a top 8 player, but if you're going to keep getting 2 catches for 26 yards, we're going to need more out of the wide receivers. But it's a work in progress offense. I said this earlier. I think there'll be a lull somewhere in the first half where they score early and then they don't score for a little bit.
John, Northern Illinois gave up 4.2 yards per carry last year, and they don't have their best defensive lineman this year, who led all defensive linemen in the country in tackles. That should give Notre Dame an opportunity to make some inroads on the ground.
Completely agree, and if you study some of the metrics, I think teams ran more often against Northern Illinois, like almost 9% more often against Northern Illinois because of the Huskies' overall struggles against the run. I think we'll see more of that today. Also, again, like the tight ends to do some damage in the seam, loosen some things up downfield that should open things up a little bit for Jaden Greathouse underneath from that slot receiver position. I think he'll have a better day. I would watch Jaden Greathouse I think he might have stubbed a finger or jammed a finger in practice this week. So we'll see if that's taped up or if he's just really good to go and go from there.
He didn't say hamstring, so that's all that matters with Jaden Greathouse, because
Yeah,
that was
correct.
a lingering issue all of last year.
No, just a finger, just a finger.
That's it for our Irish Illustrated pregame incident analysis, brought to you by RVMH Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana.